You are not allowed to impose through the government your religious beliefs on others. That is not what religious freedom is about. That's not what our country rests on.
Yeah.
And as a democracy, we respect other democracies' abilities to self-police and self-regulate. And so this process is underway. Our voice.
I will never support funding a police department that mistreats people, and I will always speak out. Not only do we need to rethink how policing works, but we need to reform it completely. Congresswoman Omar, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman Tlaib, and Congresswoman Presley, they call themselves the Squad, and I honestly consider them to be misguided. You ever notice how some of the people who have been given the most opportunities in this country, like safety, education, and positions in high offices, sometimes seem to criticize it the most? It's surprising. Today, we're looking at clips where Senator Rand Paul and Senator John Kennedy speak frankly about Ilhan Omar and the Squad. They don't hold back, and frankly, it's refreshing to hear someone say it openly. In my town, many people have come as refugees from places like Somalia and Bosnia. I have never heard any of them complain that America is a bad place. Most of them are deeply grateful. Some have even escaped oppressive governments, and they truly value the opportunities here. Then there's Representative Omar, who has said America is a terrible place with no justice. But she came here, and we welcomed her, provided support, healthcare, and education, and she had the opportunity to serve in Congress. That's an incredible honor, and yet she criticizes the country that helped her succeed. Senator Paul's point is simple but important. If you think America is bad, look at other countries where freedom and opportunity are far more limited, where systems don't protect citizens the way ours do. Seeing that perspective can help anyone appreciate what we have here. Senator John Kennedy puts it bluntly. When you argue with someone who spreads negativity, you often only amplify it. The Squad, as they call themselves, criticizes America's past and present, but they have benefited from its freedoms. They advocate for policies that challenge the foundations of what makes this country prosperous. Kennedy questions why we even need to dignify such extreme criticism. These aren't people focused on small improvements. They are pushing for radical changes that could impact the opportunities that allowed them to succeed. The truth is, America isn't perfect, but it's one of the greatest examples of freedom and opportunity in the world. If some cannot see that and believe the country is terrible, they always have the choice to explore the world and gain perspective. But for the rest of us, we continue to love and work for the country that has given so much. The message is clear: appreciate the opportunities we have, recognize the freedoms that surround us, and never take them for granted. Let's dive deeper into this discussion because it's more than just politics. It's about the way we see our country and the gratitude we show for the opportunities we are given. When people come to America, many arrive with nothing but hope and determination. They leave behind everything familiar: friends, family, and even their safety, to seek a better life. Some come from countries where basic rights are not guaranteed, where freedom of speech is limited, where education is scarce, and where survival is a daily challenge. These individuals often arrive with humility, ready to work hard, ready to follow the rules, and ready to contribute to a society that has welcomed them. And when you meet them, you can see the appreciation in their eyes. They understand what it means to have a chance to build a life. Contrast that with what we see from some elected officials who have been given the highest honors in our society, and yet publicly criticize the very system that allowed them to succeed. This is not just a difference of opinion. It is a difference in perspective. Those who arrive in America as refugees often compare their new life with the struggles they endured, and gratitude becomes a natural response. For some of those born into privilege or those who gain early access to power, the comparison isn't there, and appreciation can be replaced with criticism, sometimes harsh criticism, and sometimes even contempt. The examples of public figures who openly denounce America, despite benefiting from its freedoms and protections, can feel shocking to many Americans. It's not simply a matter of disagreement over policy. It's a matter of recognizing the opportunities that have been afforded to you. To truly understand this, it helps to step back and consider what life is like in countries where freedom is limited or where corruption is widespread. Imagine a place where children cannot attend school safely, where medical care is rare or unaffordable, where people cannot speak their minds without fear of reprisal. In such places, Life is a daily struggle. Now compare that with the life most Americans live, with access to education, healthcare, the rule of law, and political representation. The contrast is staggering. And yet, some who have never faced that struggle might take it for granted. Senator Rand Paul's message is powerful because it reminds us of this contrast. He points out that the gratitude we often see from refugees is a reflection of their understanding of what freedom truly means. They see America not as perfect, but as an opportunity, an experiment in liberty that has created a society where people can rise based on their effort and determination. The senators aren't saying America has no problems. Far from it. There are challenges, there are flaws, and there are injustices that need attention. But the response to those challenges can be constructive or destructive. One approach is to work within the system, to improve what is imperfect. Another approach is to constantly criticize without recognizing the foundation upon which your success is built. This difference is critical, and it's at the heart of why these discussions evoke strong reactions. Senator John Kennedy's observation highlights another truth. Engaging with extreme negativity often amplifies it. When elected officials make sweeping statements against the country that gave them a platform, responding directly can sometimes give more attention to the criticism than it deserves. Kennedy's blunt assessment, that arguing with someone spreading extreme views only proves there are two, captures this well. It's a reminder that the most powerful response can sometimes be maintaining perspective, knowing the truth of your own experience and the opportunity around you, and choosing where to invest your energy. Beyond politics, there's a cultural aspect to consider. Gratitude is a value that resonates deeply in society. It is not just about saying thank you. It's about recognition, humility, and acknowledgement of the systems and individuals who provide opportunities. When gratitude is absent, it can create tension, resentment, and a sense of unfairness among those who have worked hard to build and maintain the structures that allow freedom and prosperity to flourish. This is why discussions about the so-called Squad often become emotional and polarizing. They are not merely critiques of policies, they are perceived as critiques of the country itself. It's also important to understand that gratitude is not synonymous with blind support. One can appreciate the opportunities provided by America while still advocating for reforms and improvements. The difference lies in framing, constructive criticism versus sweeping condemnation. Constructive criticism seeks solutions, identifies problems, and works within the system to create change. Sweeping condemnation often paints the entire system as broken, ignoring the context that allows people to thrive. This distinction matters because it shapes public perception and the broader conversation about national identity and responsibility. Consider the story of immigrants who arrived with nothing and built thriving businesses, educated their children, and contributed to their communities. They often express gratitude not just in words, but in action. They volunteer, they mentor, they invest in the country's future. This is the kind of engagement that strengthens society. It reflects understanding and appreciation for the opportunities provided. When public figures fail to acknowledge this, it can feel like a betrayal to those who have labored to create a society of opportunity. At the same time, it's essential to recognize that America is not flawless. There are areas of inequality, there are historical injustices, and there are ongoing debates about fairness, access, and representation. Addressing these issues requires honest dialogue, effective policies, and civic engagement. The conversation becomes counterproductive when it shifts from problem-solving to demonizing the entire system. The message from the senators is clear. America offers unparalleled freedoms and opportunities, and acknowledging that does not negate the need for improvement. It provides a foundation from which to act. Another element of this discussion is the idea of perspective. Senator Paul's suggestion that critics experience life in other countries with fewer freedoms is a way of encouraging perspective. It's not meant as a punishment or insult, but as a reminder of what is possible when people do not have the protections and opportunities we often take for granted. Experiencing other realities can help cultivate appreciation and a deeper understanding of one's own society. Perspective shapes how we evaluate systems, leaders, and policies. Without it, criticism can become disconnected from reality. Senator Kennedy's point about the impact of extreme ideology on political parties also deserves attention. When radical views dominate the conversation, they can shift the priorities of entire parties, influence public discourse, and create division. This is not unique to one side of the political spectrum. It is a phenomenon observed across societies. Extreme positions can overshadow moderate voices, making it harder to reach consensus or address practical issues. By pointing this out, Kennedy emphasizes the importance of balance, moderation, and the consequences of rhetoric that alienates rather than unites. Gratitude, perspective, and constructive engagement are not abstract concepts, they have real implications for society. When citizens and leaders appreciate the opportunities available, recognize the challenges faced by others, and work toward practical solutions, society benefits. Communities grow stronger, policies become more effective, and public trust increases. Conversely, when criticism turns into condemnation, when gratitude is absent, and when perspective is ignored, the social fabric can fray, leading to polarization and frustration. It's also worth considering the role of media in shaping these narratives. Media coverage often amplifies conflict, focusing on sensational statements rather than nuanced discussion. This can distort public perception, making disagreements seem more extreme than they are. The senator's approach highlights the importance of cutting through media noise to address the core issues directly. Appreciation for opportunity, responsibility in leadership, and the balance between critique and constructive action. Throughout this discussion, one theme remains constant. America provides opportunity like no other place in the world. From education to economic freedom, from safety to legal protections, the framework is in place for individuals to thrive. Those who recognize this tend to contribute positively to society. Those who disregard it risk alienation and criticism from those who understand the value of these opportunities. The senator's messages reinforce this reality. They are reminders that freedom comes with responsibility, and that opportunity should be met with gratitude, engagement, and thoughtful action.